A lot of the criticisms that people had in season 1, I don't think it's going to fly this season. Things really ramp up, and it is time to get into my review of the new season of Invasion. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing season 2 of Invasion, returning to Apple TV Plus August 23rd. One episode is going to drop, so that means you return each and every so weekly with a total of 10 episodes. So I know, and I heard you all, and I even see you all even recently commenting on my review from season 1, and some people liked it and some people didn't. The biggest criticism is that people felt that it just drug out. It was a very much of a slow burn, and folks had a lot of questions about the aliens themselves. I'm here to say that while this series still focuses on the characters, the character buildings outside of just the invasion and the survival and military and all that stuff, it really does focus on humanity, and it's taking it from different perspectives, different angles, and I appreciate that. And yes, it's still very much character driven, but things truly converge in this season. And yeah, you're going to get a lot of different things happening. You're going to learn a lot more about the aliens and the humans in this. Humanity also learns a lot about the aliens. So you're going to see some things that are not like you see in other invasions or other things within this genre. It's a little bit different, shall I say, but it's fun. I definitely had a good time. I think there was a lot of good acting. I think a lot of the characters that we loved in season 1, you're going to see a new side to them. And nonetheless, it just makes for a fantastic season. One of my favorite characters is in Casper. You're going to really see how important this character is this season. And while Casper really kind of navigates in sort of self-doubt at times, but you know, somebody like Trevante, who truly believes in him, who knows what Casper is capable of, Casper is really trying to balance out his gifts, but also like his friendships, and like all of that's going to be tested. You know, Trevante, sort of like the lone wolf, obviously with that military background, makes him very dangerous, but yet very good in survival and maneuvering. You're going to see him truly put all of his personal things aside to really live out and fulfill this mission. And you're going to see him get close to characters in a way that we haven't really seen him really show a compassionate side in a while. And Anisha here, one thing you ain't gonna do, well, I'm just gonna say this about Anisha, like, she turns up. She's not playing no games this season, and you're gonna see a side of her that's very much the true mama bear that's been instilled in her this entire time. She has a mission to you don't mess with her kids, and if she's looking for them, nothing's going to stop her. And then Masuki happens to be the wild card this entire season here. Masuki and her research, the risks she takes, it gets really interesting. It gets really interesting. It gets to a point where you know, even the finale, should I say, I don't know what to say without spoiling stuff, but I gotta say, even the finale truly just makes her journey this entire season so fulfilling, but also kind of like, I don't know, man, and not in a bad way, but just like, you know, you really want to see this character really be the catalyst to the success of humanity here. And by her research, by her passions, by really exploring her past, there's a lot of things that you go down with that character. But going back to like the kids here and Anisha, I'm just gonna say this, like, they're on the road now, as we know, and it's been several months since the conclusion of season 1. I think it's about 4 to 5 months. So we've definitely seen different things that humanity has done in order to you know, in terms of bringing the attack back to the aliens. You know, there's a vessel that is down. They're continuing research. They're trying to make connection, understand in terms of communication and language, and then protection, all these sorts of things. And then a jointed attack across the world, you know, is also something that we're trying to really work out and iron out amongst everybody. But going back to the kids here, Luke and Sarah is going to have a journey of her own, and Anisha is not having that. That's all I'm gonna say. And then Luke also is really trying to navigate things as well too. I think Luke's story becomes interesting because Luke has a connection. Luke has a lot of his mother in him, that ambition to really be the leader, and really not take any games. Still trying to figure it out because there appears to be a lot of good people who aren't really good. But yeah, all of that is going to be explored. So seeing Luke mature this season, I thought was pretty interesting as well too. Jamila is another character, thinking about her maturity and how she isn't always right, but you know, I think she learns a lot about her accountability, but she has good people around her that just makes the journey that she goes on interesting. Very dangerous, but interesting. And you know, by all means, as an adult, you want to see these kids, you know, fulfill what they're trying to do, but also like in best interest of their safety and protection. So we get all of that with them as well too. But I just think that like these characters, these young the young nucleus, like beyond the characters, the people themselves, the maturity in their performances really just heightens a lot of these scenes that at times you start to think they're kids, so they're off limits. But in this case, they're getting older, so they're going to make more adult-ish decisions, even with their language and dialogue. But you still got the level of concern for them. But like now, they're taking a lot more matters into their own hand. They become a factor into the survival of humanity as well. You know, the president is obviously involved, so the president is aware of the different, should I say, the different efforts in terms of the communication, the learning, and the science between humanity and the aliens. But at the same time, the kids brings this extra added wild card that the adults just really couldn't account for, and that really shakes things up. And like every character plays a significant part. Like I named some important names, but all the characters really have an important part. And whether it is about the research or the connection or in terms of survival, I think it is also about like the humanity side that still has to stay strong. The friendship, the bond, the support, you know, being there for one another. And also there's a lot of positive, but there's also like some other things as well too. Envy and all sorts of different things, shall I say. I don't want to give too much away. But I just think that while we've seen a lot of series that deals with alien invasions or just aliens or very heavy on the sci-fi and whatnot, focusing on the characters is what Invasion does very well, and the character arcs have been really good, very interesting. And my you know, some of my criticism about the production itself is like sometimes the special effects look kind of wonky, but sometimes it looks very good. But either way, it still feels like a very big production, so that when you're watching these episodes, you truly feel like you're watching like a feature-length film, or maybe shall I say shorts by each episode. But they just do a really good job in bringing the production together, letting the young cast really succeed in big spots, the older cast, and then mixing it all together. And you know, when you have some of these folks that are attached to this, like, you know, you worry about others outshining others, and I think across the board you just have really good performances no matter what degree of acting you have here. And I just think from Shamier to Billy, I think it just goes up and down the board of just fantastic acting. Our leads do what they're supposed to do. You already know Golshifteh is going to bring in. She certainly didn't let down this season. But like, yeah, the other supporting characters, I think, and actors really come and really makes this a strong season. And then now on to season 3, because this one leaves off in a way, in a different light than we've seen in the previous two or the previous season, and now in the previous 2 seasons once you check out season 2. Because yeah, we're taking things to another front, shall I say, and it gets super interesting now that folks are really aware of their potential and their involvement with things and the connection with these other characters. And now all these characters who have been pretty much apart for the majority of time start to converge back together. It really just takes the story to another direction, and it's super fulfilling, super good, super interesting. And I enjoyed the show. Whether you thought it was a slow burn or not, I think giving season 2 is truly a fair assessment of how good or how much you like or dislike the show. Because I think now that they really laid down the foundation, now that it's been months since the first season, I think, and I mean like in timeline, not since the release, I think now you're going to see the things that you were expecting. You're going to see things kind of pick up a little bit. Yeah, the arcs are still going to build in the way they are, but you're going to see a lot of the plot developments really hit, and you're just not going to be ready. And I got to say, Masuki, again, just, whew, it's going to be interesting. But anyway, folks, Invasion returns to Apple TV Plus August 23rd. New episode weekly. Get in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts about this one. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.